Hello, survivors, and welcome back to Dr. Alejandro's lab. So today I am roaming around the U.S. Army Post Base in Naviscane. The reason I'm here today is to give you guys a brief rundown of armor in 7 Days to Die. Now, armor has a bunch of different effects, but the main thing that I'm really going to be caring about and talking about are the actual armor values. So one really important thing, I currently have installed my real armor value mod that I recently created. I'm going to be giving it out. It should be down in the description below. You'll be able to go ahead and grab this real armor number mod, because armor in the game actually uses decimals. However, the way the Thumpimps have it encoded, it would truncate it down. So we would have this military helmet that has 10.25 armor, and it would always just show 10 armor, even though you had these extra decimals. Now, considering you have 5 pieces of armor, that can actually matter, because a piece of armor that has 10.01 and a piece of armor that has 10.9 would both show as 10 armor. However, over the course of 5 pieces of armor, that can actually reach over 4 armor. So being able to see these values can be helpful in making decisions and seeing more the differences that can occur between armor of different tiers. So in the weapon damage tutorial I did, I spoke to you guys a little bit about how the weapons have this negative 0.15 to positive 0.15 for every single one of the tiers. Armor has similar random values, however, it's not negative or positive a certain amount. It goes from 0 to a certain amount, and you can get a value added on anywhere in between there. So each piece of armor has a base armor rating, and then between 0 and a certain amount, based on what type of armor it is, will determine what the final armor rating is. So take this military helmet, for example. A tier 5 military helmet, the base armor rating is 8.39. Now, this can go all the way up to 11.66 if it's at the absolute highest it can be. One thing I do have to note is a lot of the armor pieces tend to kind of rotate more towards the lower 25th is what I'm seeing in terms of the actual armor ratings. But we can see this across these pieces of armor that are the same actual type of armor, same tier. This is 10.25, this is 10.62. So you're gaining plus 0.37 armor. You do have different values with the armor crit resist, so we see that's going down by 1% here. Yeah, so you're losing some of the armor crit resist. But if we look at the different pieces of armor across, so there's military vest tier 2. This one is just exactly 7 armor. This is 7.37. Both will read as 7 armor in the original UI of the game. We can go across and look at some of the others. These tier 6 military gloves, 11.39, 11.68. Where we can see one of the biggest differences in one of the armors I have here is this steel armor, the heavy armor. So we have these tier 1 steel boots, 8.26 armor. This is almost the lowest. The actual lowest value for steel tier 1 steel armor is 8.21. So compared to this 8.26, we have this 11.36. So you have a wide range of values you can have for each piece of armor. It does go up. So heavy armors tend to have the highest overall ranges, and then lighter armors have smaller ranges, with the highest armor rating you can get with light armor being 12.2 armor for each piece of tier 6 military armor. For heavy armor with the steel armor, it's a max of 16 armor. So with light armor, tier 6 military armor, the highest armor values you can get is 12.2 apiece. For steel armor, the highest amount you can get are 16 apiece. So I want to be able to give this information out to everyone so they can get a better view of what actually is happening in terms of their armor they're grabbing. Because again, a lot of times you'll grab armor, it'll say that they're both 11, but one will actually be better than the other, and it showcases over here in this armor rating. So sometimes you can put on pieces of armor where if you added up all the pieces, you would have like 46 armor, but for some reason you have 49. And that's because these decimals that are actually getting calculated by the game, but weren't getting shown to you. So you can take advantage of this real armor numbers mod, to actually take a look at exactly what values you're getting from your armor. The other thing I want to show you guys is my 7 Days to Die datasheet that I'm starting to put together. So the first thing for this will actually be just the overall armor values in the game. So here we are with the armor values. We have a base sheet. This will get added on and fixed up more later on, but this is just an initial start. But we start with our armor values. We have tier 1 through tier 6 armor, and then we have what is the lowest armor value you can get for each piece of armor. So for leather armor, the lowest value you can have is 5.27. And then it can go up from there. Same thing with all the heavy armors. Some of them are different, like the padded armor, the military helmet, scrap armor, and the mining helmet don't have any variance whatsoever. The number on them is exactly what you're going to get. So tier 1 padded armor will always be 5.1. Tier 2 will always be 5.54. Tier 4 will always be 6.42. It's all the other armors that actually have values across. So you can actually consult this data sheet when you pick up armor to see, oh, where am I at in terms of this actual armor rating? Am I super low? Am I in the middle? Am I towards the high end? Do I have like one of the best pieces of armor I can get? So that's one of the things we're looking at here. This is actually just going to be a super short video. I really just wanted to show this off. The link for this data sheet as well will also be in the description below. The overall goal is to start giving you guys more information so you can look things up yourself, see more things, and have more information available to you to make choices in game. You will be able to know, oh, this armor is definitely better to use, this armor is definitely better to use. It just gives you some of that information, and I'll keep updating this as new alphas come out, because I know the other alphas are going to change everything around in terms of how armor sets are done. So this is currently updated for 19.3 stable. After this, in Alpha 20, I know equipment sets are completely changing. So I'll have to redo all of this, but for now, you guys will have some information to play around with in order to have a good idea of what you're working with when it comes to armor. The last thing about armor that I really want to discuss with you guys today, probably something that's actually important to know, is that this armor durability actually matters. So when you're wearing armor, when you get hit and take damage, the armor actually loses some of that durability by blocking. So the way it functions is, say you have 50 armor rating, and you get hit by a zombie bear. The zombie bear on a swipe does 50 base damage on Nomad difficulty. So say you have 50 armor rating, that means you're taking 25 damage, because 50 armor rating is 50% damage reduction. So you're taking 25 damage, and your armor is blocking 25 damage. Then that gets split across all your armor pieces. So your helmet would take 5, your vest would take 5, every piece would take 5. It splits it evenly among all of them. And those numbers, that 5 comes off the durability. Once your armor doesn't have any durability left, it can't block for you anymore. Now, for the most part, because generally while you're playing, you're not getting hit constantly all the time, and you're normally finding new, better pieces of armor to put on, so it doesn't really come up all that often. But if your armor does start getting low, it is smart to actually repair it. This way you can keep up that protection. Because if you have armor with no durability, it's not actually protecting you at all anymore. Because it can't take damage. So that's an important thing about armor. And that's really the last thing I had. This is just a super short video giving you guys a little bit more information on how armor functions in this game. Thank you guys for coming out, hanging out with me in the lab. I hope to see you all in my next video. This is Dr. Alejandro, signing out.